Hello, friends. Welcome back to Heartscapes. My name is Michaela, and I just wanted to jump on here real quick and let you know that I'm about to open up registration for my annual gift to the community, which is 22 gift Reiki sessions here in the beginning of wintertime. And to just tell you a little bit of the story of how this tradition began. So at the end, I'll give you details on how you can register for a free session and a little bit of extra information. So this tradition has been going on for about 6 years. It was ironically about this time, election time in 2016. Um, you might remember that particular election. It was a bit contentious. It was a bit challenging for many of us. And, without jumping down a politics rabbit hole, I'll just say that myself and many other people in my community were, feeling fairly depressed, fairly defeated, a little hopeless around this time in 2016. And I was sitting at dinner with my teaching partner, and we were just sitting in the muck of it, just the dark feelings of it, the intense emotions of leading up to such a huge election, and then the disappointment of the outcome, some fear about what would come, and then on top of all of that, heading into the season of winter, which for myself personally and for many folks can be a time of challenge, of emotional heaviness. I deal with winter depression on and off, and that year was definitely a heavy year for me. And so we were in this conversation of how can we how can we transform these feelings, right? How can we, release attachment to what is, like the reality of what is, we can't change in this moment. But how can we change how we're feeling about it? And this became a very like visceral lived experience of something that I've been in practice of and have studied for a long time, and actually just taught a class on last month, which is the connections between sadness, between gratitude, and generosity. There's a strong correlation between feelings of sadness and feelings of empathy and connection to other people. There's something about the emotion of sadness that has the potential, not the guarantee, but the potential to open up in us the ability to feel other people, to empathize with them, to, really understand where they're coming from if they are also in a difficult place. And those feelings can lead to feelings of gratitude. We can intentionally cultivate feelings of gratitude, using various practices. And when we do that, that combination of sadness and gratitude can open up the feeling of generosity. This is something that's been studied and correlated. And it's something that we can intentionally leverage to not only impact our own feelings when we're in a sad and dark place, but to leverage the energy of those feelings into, you know, doing something good for other people, making the spaces, the communities, the people around us better in some way, which cycles back around to us, helping us to feel better. And so for many, spiritual leaders and, people in the realm of psychology, one of the most powerful ways to combat sadness and depression is to lean into gratitude and generosity. And so we were talking about those dynamics in this conversation, and, just decided that that's what we should do, that we should lean into generosity. And so we just spontaneously put out a call on social media, offering some free Reiki sessions, not knowing, what would come of that. But as it turned out, over the next few weeks, 22 people reached out to us and asked to receive a Reiki session. And we shared those sessions, and with each opportunity to connect with somebody to help them get through whatever they were going through in their dark time, or just through their own self-care and self-wellness practices, each time we felt a little bit better, a little bit more of our hearts opened up, and a little bit of that hopeless feeling started to melt away. And so the next year, we decided that that was going to be a tradition and we should do that again. And the number 22 stuck to honor those original 22 people who reached out and asked for support. And so that's what we've done for the last 6 years. Every year around this time, I open up an open call to anybody who wishes to reach out and receive a Reiki session. Those can be either in-person sessions here in the studio in Davis, California, or they can be phone sessions from wherever you happen to be in the world. I'm going to put a link down below to where you can schedule either one of those types of sessions. I'm also going to put a link to the recording of the class that I mentioned, where we go in much more depth about the experience of gratitude and the way in which gratitude is really the mechanism inside the system of Reiki that helps to address sadness, that helps to address feelings of disconnection. We had a really fruitful conversation in that class, and I posted the recording, so I'll put that down below. And I invite you, I welcome you to request one of these gift sessions. They will be open starting November 15th, and you can book your session between December 1st and January 31st. I'll just keep those booking links open until the spaces are filled, and then we'll go from there. So, friends, I hope you choose to join me on that. I'd love to hear your own stories of the connections between sadness and generosity. If there been a time when you have been in a dark place or been feeling bummed out and leaned into gratitude, leaned into generosity, did something kind for somebody else and experienced a benefit to yourself, I'd love to hear those stories down below. And as you journey through this second half of fall and into the coming winter, I hope you're deeply provisioned for that journey. And until next time, I love you. Goodbye.